Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. Byron York joins me. He's with the Washington Examiner. He's also a Fox News contributor, and we share those things in common. I wonder, Byron, if you share in common with me a distaste for the Epstein story. Do you?
Yeah, I haven't written a whole lot about it. I have been, trying to keep up with things and look at things, and I believe that the administration should just, while removing all victim information, just release all this stuff and be done with it. But it's not something I talk about a lot.
Well, this is what I talked with Bret Baier about earlier. I wrote a column about it on Tuesday for Fox News. I've never written about it, never said anything about it before, because it's so awful and ugly and the victims are so numerous. But I never believed there was a list, and I always thought he killed himself. And in fact, they confirmed there's no list, and he killed himself, so I thought we were done. Where is this coming from? Nobody ever comes up to me and says, let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Nobody.
This is really interesting. One of the things that I've noticed in all of this is that people have forgotten how much they already know about the Epstein case. For example, on his death, there was a Department of Justice Inspector General report on his death. It does not actually reproduce the specific autopsy results, but it discusses them, and it makes a persuasive case that he killed himself. And if you listen to the sort of general Twitter conversation about this, you wouldn't know that. I saw something today. Somebody posted a story about Epstein requesting multiple passports when he was traveling to Africa a lot in the 1990s. Well, that was a story from more than a year ago. I read a story that Vanity Fair wrote about him, I believe, in 2003. That was really interesting and contained much of what we know. And I think a lot of the political world seems to have forgotten how much they actually know about Epstein. I'm not suggesting that releasing the files will be a complete nothing burger, but it might be because we already know quite a bit.
Yeah, you and I will understand the phrase Al Capone safe. That's what we're up for. It's going to be Al Capone safe. Let me turn to a second issue. I completed the trifecta this week. I talked to Josh Dawsey about his new book, 2024. I talked last week with Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson about their book, Original Sin, and I've already had John Allen and Amy Parnes on about their book, Fight. Bottom line, the Democratic campaigns were staffed by morons. And I really mean they were badly, badly run. Does anyone else come out and say how badly run they were?
Well, I mean, all of those books essentially show it, don't they?
Yes.
What can I say? A campaign like that is a reflection of the candidate. Because you have to remember, whenever you're talking about a bad campaign, you're really saying the candidate was bad. Because a really good candidate is not going to have a really terrible campaign at that level. And so what they were dealing with was a president, first of all, a candidate who had serious cognitive issues that came out with a bang on June 27th of last year at the debate, and then with a candidate who was in no way prepared to either be the president or even run for president. And you had kind of the dysfunctional organization that the president with the cognitive difficulties had created, switching over to the new unprepared candidate, and it was a disaster all around for them.
Oh, it was so bad. This book makes me feel bad for him. But it did also, I raised with Josh this question. At one point in the book, they reveal President and Mrs. Biden in 2017, after he's left the vice presidency, buy a beachfront house for $2.7 million. And I asked, where did he get that? And Josh said, well, we don't know. We didn't ask. And isn't that extraordinary? It couldn't. $2.7 million is $5.4 million in after-tax dollars. It's ridiculous that nobody asks.
Well, didn't Biden got a big book contract? This is a way of paying off politicians. Got a huge book contract when he left the vice presidency. And I think he sort of focused the book around his son Beau's death, but it was basically a memoir, and it was a multi-million-dollar thing. And he also did a bunch of get-rich-quick stuff, the standard sort of six-figure speeches that they do. Now, I'm not saying that takes care of all of it, but I think Biden did have obvious, seven-figure sources of income after he left the White
If
House.
you're paying your taxes and you've got $2.7 million cash outlay for a house, I don't know where it came from, and I don't know that it's wrong. I just thought it's interesting it wasn't answered. Then I want to go to one more bit of Josh's book. Eric Holder did the vetting of the vice presidential candidates. Can we agree that he completely botched the vetting of Tim Walz?
Which part would you say was the worst?
The Army record. Okay, I think that's pretty bad. The fact that he wasn't a football coach, he was an assistant defensive coordinator. I mean, he couldn't load a shotgun. I can't load one either. I'm not criticizing that, but pretending to be a hunter when you're not a hunter is kind of bad. He was terrible on the stump. How could they not know these things?
Look, the vetting guy, the legal vetting guy is not going to say, boy, he's a really terrible speaker. I did find the assistant coach thing to be actually surprising when I learned it, because you heard so much about him being the coach and coaching the team to the state championship and everything. And then when you find out he was one of several assistant coaches, you go, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But, here again, I'm not sure that's something the legal vetting team is going to go into, but it was bad.
Jazz hands. And then the statement that her team made to Vice President Harris, none of the 6 candidates will appreciably impact you. I don't believe that about Josh Shapiro. I believe they told Josh Dotsie that, but I don't believe they told her that. I think they told her, he'll win Pennsylvania for you, but you'll lose Michigan. What do you think?
Well, I mean, there were reports, and I'm still not fully clear because we don't know, we're not in Josh Shapiro's mind. But, I mean, there are a number of reports that suggested he actually did not want this. Clearly, she did not feel comfortable with him, probably because she felt she was looking at a vice president who was more able than she, which made her
all these books prove, Brian, the old saw is A's hire A's, B's hire C's, and C's hire whomever they can get to go to work for them. That explains Joe Biden is a B hiring a C and Kamala Harris is a C. Anybody here want to work for me? And boy, what a mess. Byron York, follow him on X at Byron York. Watch him on the Fox News channel and read him at the Washington Examiner. I'll be right back.